Igniting community. Learn, share, and grow. Like and subscribe below.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ignite in Community YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe below and hit the like button. It would mean a lot to us and we really appreciate it. My name is Codi Chen and I am the co-creator and CEO of Heartworks Writing. We work with individuals, entrepreneurs, small businesses, and nonprofits in order to help with any of their writing needs. So one of the things that we also have going on is book coaching, content coaching, copywriting, editing, and ghostwriting. So today I want to talk about immersing yourself in writing and the different types of personal writing that you can do. We are actually running a memoir mindset series that starts January 6th, and you can check that link in my Instagram bio at Codi Elizabeth or at Heartworks Writing. And the website is www.heartworksw.com. It's a buy one, get one 50% off. So we would love to see you there and help you get your story told in a way that feels amazing and comfortable for you. So today we're actually going to be talking about different types of personal writing that you can do when you have a story that you need to get from out of your head and out onto some pages. So the first one is pretty obvious, and that is actually journaling. Journaling is really important. It's almost like you can do it like a mind dump, you can do it a mind map, and it's to get the story unedited, unfiltered with your raw emotions onto a page. And a lot of times that's just a really good release for us. It's a great first draft. This is something that should be private and you don't need to share with anybody. Of course you can, there's no rules, but if you want to make sure that these thoughts and these raw, unfiltered emotions aren't seen by anybody, definitely lock your document. If you're writing on a computer, hide your journal where someone's not going to be snooping around and see something that's not ready for them to be viewed. Another one, and the step that I see that people struggle with, is taking their pure thoughts and then putting them on a blog. And blogs are wonderful, but it's for public consumption. And we need to be really mindful about that. And what are you trying to gain by doing this blog? What are you trying to, what audience are you trying to reach? What message are you trying to send overall? Do you have a theme each time? Or are you treating it like a public journal essentially, which is fine. You can totally do that, but that's not going to be the best way to build your audience and to really make an impact on what you want to say. So blogs, what you can do is take that unfiltered raw material that you use to journal or do a mind map with, and then really edit that and make it into something presentable for your own audience. So for example, if you are writing about this hilarious travel experience that you had, and you listed all the names of the people and everything like that, that's great. When you do it to a blog, remember your audience. I'm not going to know who your best friend is necessarily from one short story. And so this is where you need to expand and think about the reader of someone who doesn't know you personally, doesn't know your family, and or the experience of the people you're talking about. And this should be presented in a beautiful package, in a theme. It shouldn't be difficult to read. You can really make it whatever length you want, but also remember that what really hits home is when you're really specific about a certain topic and you don't go on for thousands of words building the scene and everything like that, because people most likely are going to drop off before they really get to the point of what you're trying to say. So being a blog or writing a blog is definitely about being more intentional and impactful with what you want to talk about. So say you want to talk about the amazing pleasures of traveling to Vietnam. I would set the scene with like a good paragraph about it. Take some of the memories that you have and write descriptive words. And of course, this is the editing process from what you already did, or maybe you need to add that in now that you're going public with this. And then hone in on the story and the funny parts about it and the moral of the story, and try to keep it within a good length, which I would say, somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 words for a longer type blog. Another thing that you can do if you're not really committed to a blog is reach out to other people who do run their own blog or who do run their own podcast and stuff like that. And that way you can maybe contribute to them. That way it's not all the pressure on having regular content and everything like that, but it's also a way for you to get your voice out there, get your story, get your impactful, what you're really trying to hone in, your message. It's a way to get a wider spread audience and also maybe bring people to your social media page, which brings me to the next part. Maybe a blog and a full article is just something that feels overwhelming to you, and that is totally fine. What a lot of people do is bring it back to their social media, make social media posts. Now, if you're trying to get money essentially from a blog or a social media post and everything like that, you really need to be organized and have a theme and be quick with it, especially in social media. You need to be quick with what your point is and what you're getting across. Of course, you can go ahead and write a whole story in your comments, filter down through your comments if you've ran out of word space in your post. But I wouldn't make it a regular habit. People's attention span, especially on social media, are not there to really grasp a lot of that information. So if you can make a engaging or quick post, a graphic that you can post on your social media that would lead back to a blog post, that's great. Or you can tell a funny story in your social media post, but remember to keep it under, the correct amount of characters for whatever social media you're using. But then also I would say, good within a couple hundred words at the most for social media. And this just requires really fine tuning your point, your story, your message. And it's an opportunity for people to actually engage, give you their feedback because they actually took the couple seconds or a minute or two that it took to read that post, digest it, and then hopefully engage and comment with it. Whereas if you continue to go longer and longer on social media, you're not necessarily going to get that much engagement just on the regular, just because it's a lot to read and people's attention spans just aren't that anymore. Another way that you can do this is writing a book. So we have, like I said, a memoir mindset series coming up, and we're going to dive into what story you want to tell. People get confused about the word memoir because it sounds like autobiography or something that has to be from the day I was born and how I was raised all the way to like what life I'm living right now. And that's not true. And people often don't want to read all of that unless you are a famous celebrity. And so when it comes to writing a book and when it comes to writing your memoir, you really need to hone down the theme of what you're trying to write about. And of course, this is a much larger piece than a blog post or some social media posts. And so what it would be really great is if you could come and hone in on what you want to talk about. Do you want to talk about your travel stories? Do you want to talk about overcoming an abusive relationship? Do you want to talk about overcoming an abusive childhood? Do you want to talk about how spirituality has changed your life and how, midlife this has opened your mind and expanded your thought process? And we'll help you totally get to that point and really narrow it down so people understand what they're getting into. It doesn't have to be all these irrelevant stories. And if you're really trying to write a hilarious travel blog or a hilarious travel story, you don't necessarily need all these other components that we feel that needs to go in there to explain who we are, to explain what we went through, to justify our feelings, our actions. A lot of that is just white noise and people aren't interested anyway. It's always great to hire a book coach to really help you narrow down really what are you trying to get across and what is the best way in order to do that. And so writing a book that is really niched down to a specific audience. I definitely like to say when you're writing a book, write it for one person or a really small group of people that you know. A lot of times we're like, I want to influence the world, but let that be a byproduct of writing your book and telling your story in a way that feels best for you. And what I mean by that is if I'm going to write this story, I need to have someone in mind, because if I write a story that I hope is going to change the world, I'm going to write a totally different story and really watch my narrative a lot more than I would if I'm writing specifically to my nephew. If I want my nephew to learn from this and to grow from this, and if no one else reads it, maybe he'll really gain some value from it at some point, then that's how I'm going to really think about, what do I want my nephew to read? What do I really want if you choose your sister, your best friend, your small group of best friends, you know them intimately. You know what they want to hear. You know what they love about you. And so write to them. Does that make sense? I really love books, and I really love writing, and I really love helping others really communicate their story in a way that's going to really impact others. And it will. So thank you again. I will be on here as a regular contributor talking about different writing pieces. And I really look forward to seeing you again. Would love if you give this a like, and if you subscribe to the Ignite and community with these amazing individuals who will be on here each week. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.